America operates on a scale that inevitably breeds extreme, highly localized municipal anomalies. When you stretch borders across almost 4 million miles, you create pockets that defy standard logic, zoning, and sometimes the law. Internet travel lists frequently package these diverse locations under the generic, useless umbrella term of weird towns. This framing fails the traveler by ignoring the specific infrastructure of each site. Treating a quirky roadside attraction and a lawless desert encampment as the same type of vacation leads to disaster. You need to understand the baseline reality of the destination before you turn the ignition. Every macabre destination sits on a specific coordinate of this chart. The x-axis tracks accessibility and infrastructure, while the y-axis measures the authenticity of the experience, ranging from manufactured kitsch to profound cultural encounters. We map these towns to the specific traveler profiles that can or strictly cannot handle them. Choosing a destination without understanding its baseline infrastructure guarantees a deeply disappointing detour or a severe physical risk. In the bottom right, we find the novelty traps. These towns require minimal logistical planning and provide highly curated, photo-ready entertainment that lacks genuine cultural strangeness. Hell, Michigan thrives by leaning into a miserable historical name to fuel a gimmick-based tourist economy. Visitors can buy a square inch of the town or get married in a themed chapel, turning a semantic quirk into a safe commercial engine. Roswell, New Mexico, weaponized the 1947 military crash controversy to build a risk-free, alien-themed ecosystem. The entire local economy revolves around ufology, utilizing a theatrical downtown to entertain thousands of visitors. Gibbsville, Pennsylvania, represents the extreme end of this category. It exists as a conceptual hub for the Wawa brand, living purely through corporate branding and regional public perception, rather than physical population. These destinations function as outdoor amusement parks that utilize a thin veneer of community to sell an experience. They provide low-effort roadside stops for families, but the depth of experience is sacrificed for mass-market commercialization. Moving up the chart, we find the living time capsules. These communities lack traditional infrastructure, but offer profound interactions with vanishing or isolated lifestyles. Colma, California, was engineered as a necropolis after San Francisco prohibited burials within city limits. Its bizarre zoning laws have created a town where the deceased residents outnumber the living by over 1.5 million. Monowi, Nebraska, operates with a population of 1. Elsie Eiler maintains the town's status as an incorporated municipality by serving as the mayor, the librarian, and the bartender, managing the town's funds entirely by herself. Casadaga, Florida, functions as a quiet community dedicated to spiritualism. Since 1894, this settlement has served as a permanent residence for practicing mediums and psychics, operating as a functional spiritual camp rather than a performance. Tangier Island, Virginia, maintains extreme geographic isolation in the Chesapeake Bay. This seclusion has preserved a 17th-century British linguistic dialect among its residents that remains difficult for visitors to decipher. Rising sea levels and coastal erosion are currently washing Tangier Island away. This environmental threat makes visitation urgent, as the land itself is a rapidly closing window into the past. Visiting these locations requires the mindset of an anthropologist who respects the existing community standards. High logistical friction preserves the authenticity of these towns, making the difficult journey a mandatory requirement for the experience. The final category contains the uncurated frontiers. These are locations defined by municipal collapse, lawlessness, and severe environmental hostility. Centralia, Pennsylvania was rendered uninhabitable by an uncontrollable underground coal fire that has burned since 1962. The ground releases toxic gases and is prone to sudden collapse, creating a landscape that is physically dangerous to navigate. This disaster spawned a pop culture pilgrimage. Urban explorers visit the cracked graffiti highway because Centralia's ash-covered reality directly inspired the aesthetic of the Silent Hill horror franchise. In the California desert, Slap City operates as an informal squatter community on an abandoned marine base. It has no mayor, no police force, and no municipal laws, serving as an experiment in off-grid living. The total absence of oversight allows for massive outsider art installations like Salvation Mountain. These vibrant, unregulated structures exist only because the traditional rules of a town have been completely discarded. These frontiers offer the maximum possible return on authentic strangeness, but the traveler must assume absolute personal liability for their own survival. Chasing the weirdest location without a plan is reckless. Successful macabre tourism requires an honest assessment of your own risk tolerance. This decision tree routes trips by constraints. Families seeking low-risk souvenirs should choose Roswell or Hell. History buffs must brave Tangier Island before its culture disappears. Finally, self-reliant explorers tackling Centralia and Slab City face zero municipal safety nets. Weirdness isn't a monolith. The most important tool you carry is the knowledge of exactly what reality you are prepared to face.